In this video, I'm going to show you how to add an assignment into Canvas, as well as make sure you have the date so it will show up in the students' calendars. So here I'm in my course. I'm simply going to go to Modules. You can add assignments via this tab, Assignments. But the idea is that everything that you work with, including the assignment, shows up here in the modules. It's easier just to add it directly from the module, save yourself one step. So I'm simply going to go over here just like if I were to add anything else and click that plus sign. If assignment does not show up here, then just simply select it from the list. And in this case, I'm going to do a new assignment, and I'm going to call it Reading Homework 1. Now once that is there, you need to actually click it to go in and edit it. Just click up here where it says Edit. And here in this sort of description box, I like to put the instructions. So I'm going to put students need to complete reading chapter 2 on the causes of World War II from pages 24 to 38 in their textbook. If there's anything else you want to put here, for example, other resources they can consult, or if you have more detailed instructions, let's say for example, you want them to do the reading and then they also need to complete the reading check worksheet, and on the due date they will have it. For example, there's any other tips or things you want them to keep in mind, you can put all of that here. You can put in links to websites, you can put in links to videos, you can put in files if you have, say, for a rubric, for example, or some other instructions that you'd like them to consult that are in PDF or Word document, something like that. Since we don't actually keep the grades in Canvas, it's not really necessary to adjust any of this stuff, the points or the grades. Submission type, this can be useful depending on what it is. I tend to leave it as no submission if it's just something like this. You need to do this reading, or even really if they have to hand something in to me. But I can, for example, say they're doing an essay. I can do submission type online, and I can actually put file uploads, and they can upload their Word document or whatever, and I can then read them and check them in Canvas itself. So that can be quite useful. It's something to kind of experiment around with. Likewise, you can also make them just input text into Canvas, or say they have to send you a website if you're doing something like that. I guess in theory you could also have them record a video. Again, I don't really mess with this. If it's a group assignment, I'll just state it up here and make sure the students know their groups. Perhaps I'll even put the list of groups here. Although you can, if you do check this, you can actually create groups, but I think generally speaking it's kind of an unnecessary step. And this is important, assuming that this is assigned to everyone. You're just going to leave everyone here, but you want to set the due date. So say I'm going to set my due date for Friday, January 24th. You can also set when it's available from. So say you don't want the students to see this and start it until a certain date. You can choose that here. And likewise, you can also lock it so that students won't be able to access this page and the instructions at all. So say you want to do that on the due date. I tend not to do either one of these things for assignments like this. That way it's very clear from as soon as I know that I have the assignment and the date set and published on Canvas, students know about it, and also if they're not there or anything like that, they can still access that information. I'd rather them have it turn it in late than not turn it in at all. So say I've got all of this done, I'm going to go to save or save and publish. You've got it all ready to go. You've got your due date set for sure. You can just go ahead and save and publish. Whoops, I need to uncheck that it's not a group assignment. And try that again. And so now if I go back out to modules, that will appear here that these students can see it and they know they've got this homework. They can access that page and they can see it. Now, one thing that can be useful when you're making assignments is being able to see the students' calendars. So you don't overload them. Maybe a teacher already has, or several teachers already have work due that same day. If you'd like to do that, if you log out of Canvas and where you log in, you need to put in all caps student STU the class you'd like to see. So let's say I want to see 10B, and then the password is simply 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Now this is going to show me all of 10B's classes. So you see that they've got a list over here to do. So they've got several things coming up here for different classes. You can also, what's probably more useful, is to look at their calendar. So their calendar is going to show, again, any assignment that they have due. You might have to kind of click in that it shows all of their classes because it tends to only show, I want to say it's 7 or 8 at a time. So we've just been on vacation in January, so maybe we're going to go back and look in November. You can see all their assignments that they have. So the idea is maybe if you see they already got 3 things due on Monday the 28th, maybe I'm going to make this due on Tuesday or whenever I have them again in class. This depends a lot on all the teachers keeping their canvases and their due dates updated. But at least it's something that maybe if the students tell you, hey, we already have a bunch of things due that day, you can confirm it this way. Or if you want to take a look ahead of time, this is how you do that. It is also very important that when you're making those assignments in Canvas that you do put the due date so that it does show up both on this calendar as well as on the students themselves, as both the students and their parents tend to look at that calendar so they're sure what things they have due for the week. All right, so that is how to make an assignment in Canvas and make sure that it shows up on the calendar. And one more really quick note about the assignments. Even if this isn't an assignment like a homework assignment or reading, if say you're just planning an assessment or a quiz or a test in class, do include it as an assignment. That way it shows up on the calendar. That way it's very clear to the students that I have a test on Wednesday, November 13th, for example. And you can include a description there or maybe a study guide if you'd like in that description. Likewise, if it's work that they've been doing in class that they're going to hand in, particularly if it is going to be assessed, it's also best just to include it as an assignment. That way it's very clear this is the day it has to be turned in. It's going to be assessed. If you didn't finish it in class, for example, you might need to finish it at home, or even if you don't allow them to do it at home. That way it's just very clear what date things need to be turned in that are going to be assessed. So please do include those as assignments as well.